It's the event you've all been waiting for. It's Jason and Justin's holiday Guestraviganza.
It's the first week.
It is.
And we've got the most guests we've ever had.
I know. I'm your host, Jason Yankovic.
And I'm Justin.
And these guys
are the Good Bottle Boys.
We got Chris and Drew. You guys pop open the beers.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. I even got it right on the
content.
It's okay.
Now your next guest will be like, wow, it's like the microphone smells like a beer.
Yeah, and we have quite a fean next guests.
Oh, shit. And we also have a shot to do.
Oh, yeah, we have to do... I started drinking before this.
There's so much on these tables.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Does anyone know a good, what do you call that?
Toast?
Yeah, toast.
Yes. Mine's lame, but I like it.
It's better than
because it's mine.
anything we've got.
Here's to honor. Can't come in or come honor.
Oh, I'm into that one.
Hey.
In the eyes.
Oh, man. How have you boys been? Haven't talked to you in a while. You guys have been busy. A lot's been going on.
It's been it's definitely been crazy. Chris has Bodega, which is cranking and rolling and doing its holiday pop-up. Plus, he's got the Good Bottle Shop is going to reopen down the street from here.
I know.
Which is going to be awesome. I started my own business and have been trying to just sell booze to people who don't want it. It's fucking great.
Oh,
There's
really
people
enjoy
out there
it.
that don't want booze?
It's complicated. They just want it in very specific situations, and sometimes I have that, sometimes I don't. But we brought lots of booze today.
Yeah,
and
I want all of it.
And I think
Same dog.
Yeah, we're gonna enjoy ourselves. But it's been good, and of course, I spend a lot of time on the road because I cover all of Northern California. And Justin, I was telling you about a meme that I saw yesterday where it was like the closest you'll ever get to being a ghost is listening to a podcast and having an answer that the two hosts can't figure out. And I think about that a lot when I listen to your guys' podcast, and I'm like, I know the answer to this.
You feel like a ghost every single week.
I feel like a ghost all the time, and because I really do enjoy your guys' pod so much because again, knowing both of you, but then also being like really starting to figure out kind of like what makes you guys tick and like all the different things that you have not experienced in life. For sure, it blows my fucking mind.
I find myself ugly laughing when I'm in the car and listening to you guys.
Oh, I didn't realize that you were a regular listener as well.
Well, that would be rude. I'm
a little worried about the cocktails that you guys are going to prepare for us because you apparently don't have good taste.
I even went top shelf on this bitch too because I was like, well, if I'm going to drink it,
for sure.
Yeah, last time we did the podcast, we took shots of that like orange creamsicle.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that shit was fun. I couldn't find it anywhere, but it was fun.
I think again, we're gonna try to make some stuff that's good for you. Now, Chris is much better at significantly better.
Well, I fucking should be.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have like years and years of experience of doing this professionally, whereas like I just fuck around occasionally. And like I had a different drink lined up, and then I just saw something in a group chat, and I was like, I'm gonna make that instead. So like, there's a lot of thought and time that have gone into mine. But then I also just brought a straight mezcal pachuga. Because we're talking about cocktails, like
this bottle over here.
That's this one over here where it's actually infused with chicken breast, anise, and a couple other things.
What?
That's like
chicken breast?
That's like my version of a cocktail where it's just kind of like it's done in a bottle.
Wait. Okay, so I'm gonna be cocktail wonky.
There you go.
Say, is it infused or is it distilled with?
Well, I guess I think it's easier to describe to people infused because everyone understands like kind of like what an infusion is. Mm-hmm. If I was to kind of be like, then they suspend it over the distillate, and you're just kind of like your eyes roll into the back of your head, and you're like, "Fuck you, nerd." And
we're nerds.
Yeah, but it's like a different. It's like a
different. We're different kind of nerds.
Yeah, and again, like I love your guys' nerddom across the whole thing. So, but yeah, it's a little bit different.
You saying that this is like a cocktail, like it's already done in the bottle?
Yeah.
I had a buddy, his signature cocktail at his wedding was just a shot of Patron.
That a baby. That's my kind of guy right there.
Sucked. He's like, it's the biggest mistake I ever made because every time somebody got one, they wanted to do one with me. So he blacked out so early.
We are Sacramento's #1 chicken-based podcast.
So
you came to the right place.
I do have to like be careful in listening to your guys' podcast because it more often than not makes me really hungry or very angry at fried chicken. So it's like, depending on how you guys feel about it, it's definitely like you guys in Dine 16, like if I'm hungry, cannot listen. I have to wait until I eat. And then I'm like, okay, I'll be able to stay focused and laugh and all those fun things.
Drew came in yesterday for a haircut, and I told him,
Looks great, right?
yeah.
It does. I need
Camera
a
ready.
haircut. I'm so overdue for a haircut.
No, it's second day.
It's sort of his fault, but I have been angering bartenders as of late, thanks to him. Because margarita, my favorite cocktail, not the best one. The best one's a mimosa.
I think you.
But
I
ordered.
think that was your first pick on the Rushmore when we all got
It was the
together last
mimosa.
time. Was that your first?
It was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still a
But
terrible
margarita is
pick.
what I order
Horrible.
everywhere.
First overall,
And now,
mimosa.
I asked them, what kind of tequila do you want? And I'm like, oh, do you have anything? I need something that's 100% agave, additive free. Do you have that? And they hate me. They're like, fuck you, we have Casamigos. Drew will hate me if I order the Casamigos.
I just think that, so often most bartenders are just not going to give a shit about that. And then even when you do ask that question, it's, they're going to bring you something like, yeah, sure, I looked it up. And like, I remember that happened to me one time, and it was Casamigos. I was like, actually, this is the worst offender. So like, you guys did the opposite of what I asked, And I do want to clarify, it's like, if people, want that sugary stuff, I mean, I get it. Like that's the caveman brain in all of us kind of being like, sweets are good, bitter's bad. But yeah. So you know what? Fuck those bartenders. Good for you. Keep that up.
That's right.
Yeah, fuck them.
They gotta fucking learn.
They do.
I definitely don't agree with the sweet is good, but I feel like having ignorance is bliss in a bar. I'm fine with Casamigos. I'll drink it all day. I've been drinking well tequila.
It's definitely ignorance is bliss in that situation. Because as soon
it'll
as
save you money,
for sure.
but it won't
$5
save
for
your
a
next
tequila?
day.
yeah,
That's true.
There's one thing I also feel like, so we're, obviously we're coming out of Thanksgiving, and I had, the experience of all of my family bringing up wine to like our Thanksgiving dinner, which I'm at this point, I'm like, why are you guys bringing wine? Like, I'm going to bring enough, I'm going to bring stuff that's going to be really good. And then, as the couple days go on, I mean, at one point they had opened up a wine that I could literally smell from like across the room. Cause I was like, that just smells full of garbage.
Yeah.
And so much California wine does have just a ton of garbage in it.
Was it barefoot?
It wasn't, but it was. I mean, I don't remember the exact. It was something out of the Sierra foothills, which is also a rough start. And unfortunately, like what we have to deal with in this state is obviously California is known for wine and things like that, but what people don't know is that we've actually ruined wine in a lot of different ways, and this is actually partly Chris's fault for me because I didn't know these things, and then he was like, "You need to drink better shit." And I was like, okay, I will. And then now, like, champagne on a Tuesday is very appropriate.
Sorry, world, for creating this monster.
Yeah. So, but the whole time, like, family's like, you're just such a connoisseur. I was like, no, I'm not. I just don't want to drink trash. Like, it's not hard. Like, you can spend $25 and get a really good bottle of wine. You don't have to,
To be clear, Drew originally used to be the guy who said, I decant wine in my belly.
That is a quote.
I love that.
Yeah, that sounds like a very Justin-ass thing to say.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Ocasio by chance?
Ocasio?
Ocasio.
Cortez?
No. It's a winery. It's my cousin's winery out of Livermore. So I was just wondering.
We probably
if
should
You guys thought that was trash.
We probably should get to drink making.
I'd have to try it before I say it to his face.
We should get to drink making because
We
it's
do
probably
have-
going to be a long episode.
We do have a lot to get
But there's
to,
something
you're right.
I need to get to. I think it's going to be the most important thing we talk about on this podcast.
For sure.
It is. Word on the street is Alyssa Milano's your cousin.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Yeah, she's my second cousin.
Is that real?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude, I
Who
had
told you that?
maybe I
Probably Drew.
No, I am also
was it a client
learning
that
this
was in here?
information, and I consider
was it
us
Jason?
very close. I did
Was
not
it
know
Jason?
that.
I think it was the other Jason.
Oh, was it? Okay. I thought it was one of the clients.
It
that
was
were
White
moving.
Jason that works here.
Yeah. He was cleaning up, and we were setting up, and he found out that you were going to be on the podcast. He was like, "Oh, Melissa Milano's his cousin." Alyssa Milano, whatever.
Yeah. No.
Sorry to your cousin.
Dude, she. Okay. So who's the boss?
Is
Came
she
out-
responsible for the cookies, the Milano cookies?
No, she's responsible
I love
for
those.
some coming of age for me.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be honest and let this live out there on the internet.
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
I mean,
be
fucking-
careful. What are
Me
you
too. I didn't know.
I love.
I didn't know when I was younger. You know how I found out?
No,
I was watching Who's the Boss at my grandmother's house. Who I lived in my grandparents' house, and my grandmother was like, "Oh, you like the show?" And I was, "Yeah, Sam's hot." And she was like, "What?" Fucking lost her fucking
That's your cousin.
That's hilarious. I'm glad you remembered to bring that up. I totally forgot about it.
There was this poster that my cousin had, and now that I think about it, it was on the ceiling. And it was
Best place for it.
It was Alyssa Milano with like a New Jersey Devils hockey jersey on, kind of pulled up, and you could see she had like a happy trail, like, hair down to the vagina thing. And
Is that,
thanks. Yeah,
Is that what that is?
This is a mature podcast. We use the correct terms.
We have never claimed to be a mature podcast.
We are Sacramento's #1 barber-based podcast that talks about chicken.
We're not even barber-based. It's just that
We are
we're
two barbers. But we are not mature. Don't ever say that about us.
I apologize.
That is an insult.
Yeah.
But we should get.
I drink well
to
tequila.
are you going to go for? I think you go first.
I drink.
I didn't like.
I drink tequila well.
Finish on a high note.
Oh yeah. Well, so again, I had a different idea of what I was gonna make, and really I brought a jigger, which we can say on this, but I didn't. But I don't have any of the measurements. I just saw it was a post in a conversation. I was like, I bet we could figure that out, because it's gonna be 4 ingredients, and it's going to be the Cascabel coconut liqueur tequila, the Fernet Branca Menta, which is a nice twist for you guys.
Excited.
So we usually do just the regular Fernet, and then some Baileys, and then just some dash of chocolate bitters.
Have you ever drank Baileys from a shoe?
No,
It's a solid question.
yeah,
I've been drunk, but not that.
Is that
drunk.
something that I need to do?
No, it's an internet video from years ago.
Okay, all right. Well, that exists. So, I mean, how do we want to do this? Because we got this set up in front of us.
Yeah,
there is a lot of bottles, and I didn't really bring it. I was like, oh, stir it with your finger because I'm classy like that.
Well, we have
that
that.
feels right to yours.
We have a knife right there.
We do have a knife. Okay, yeah.
We have a glass with a copper spoon drippy thing in it.
Well, I'm going to need that. So he doesn't get to use any of my stuff.
I can't use your stuff.
No, you're cut
No,
off.
this is a food challenge.
I was briefed on everything else but that. So
I just made that
have-
part
okay, so
right
this is what
now.
we're gonna do. We're gonna do laybacks. You guys just sit there, open your mouth, and we will mix it
together
into your mouth. So you're gonna
I'm in.
shake.
Let's do
You're
it.
gonna shake really hard.
I'm
go.
trying to look
And then baby
around.
bird it into the shot glass.
I have my my hydro flask over there. I could empty the water in it, and you could make a 4-pack in there and pour it out if you want.
Can I use these glasses?
No.
No.
Hold on.
We should have discussed this before.
I got classy shit.
So while he's grabbing
Well,
stuff,
yeah.
let me just.
I
we
came
can't hear
prepared.
you. You're not on a microphone.
Well, yeah.
I asked questions.
Well, and here's the thing. I had
perfect.
I could have rinsed these out and then
Yeah.
had a plastic cup.
Okay, go do
Yeah.
that. So this is we're running it back to last year. You guys were going to be on the podcast for December last year, and we were going to have some cocktails. You guys were going to basically craft us some cocktails, give us a little bit of history about them, and then we were going to drink them and discuss them. This year we're since we didn't do that last year, we're doing that this year, but we're also going to roll this into a Rushmore, and because we know Drew specifically, I don't know what your history is with wrestling, is a huge wrestling fan.
It's true, he is.
We are building our Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
I'm gonna build my foothills of Mount Rushmore because I'm not as much
For
of
sure.
a.
That's fair.
I'm a foothill fan.
We do
Hey,
have.
look, Dixie's.
We do have some. I'm just going to set up the rules for these while you start mixing that,
Yeah.
so we can.
We're
we can
gonna-
kind of,
I have ice behind.
There's a bunch of
you
ice
can
over
use
here.
that ice.
Well, what I'm gonna do is we're
very
gonna do that classic dump one into the other situation.
It's called rolling.
Yeah, that. So
When I was a youth, rolling meant a lot different.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it still means that.
Rolling? No, I don't think they say that.
So I'm also I'm guesstimating on the measurements because this did come from the UK and they're milliliters. Who the fuck knows what that means?
Yeah.
So
I think we have conversions for those.
we don't. It's a common misconception.
Not in jiggers.
No. This it only says OZ on that. That's
What's
short
what's
for ounce. So
What's on the other side of that?
Different.
smaller.
Okay,
smaller
just
size.
smaller ounces.
smaller ounces. So like when you get like
They do
those
have milliliter jiggers,
like those
though, right?
those classy people that can do the whole thing with their hands and stuff.
Useless.
Yep.
When I was in the UK, the first place I got a drink was at TGI Fridays.
Did they do Flair?
They did.
Awesome.
But I didn't know that was a thing at the time because
Was Jennifer
they weren't
Aniston
doing it at the one on Arden.
with all of her.
All of her. No, like Flair bartending.
No, I know. I was
Do you
trying
guys
to make
know
a
that that's
fucking
like
joke.
something that Chris is actually infamous for?
Yes.
His flair bartending.
That's why I get called Chris Sinclair.
That's
Or
your-
Flair
that's
or
your
Flair
Instagram
Bear.
handle,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Instagram.
It's taken on a
Chris
whole life
Sinclair.
of its own.
So I want you to smell that because that's the minty Fernet. And
Fernet is pretty minty on its own.
No,
like,
it's not.
well, this really kind of cuts out the
join
the
you.
bitterness that you get in like your typical Fernet. It's a fun mix up. And if you just do this,
I've definitely had it, but I'll have it
and
again.
just like coffee liqueur.
Yeah.
It's called a Girl Scout, and it's
Thanks.
very, very yummy.
like a thin mint.
Yeah, yep.
I ate a lot of those. Did not stay thin.
Well,
They should call them thick mints.
So
Two C's.
Yeah. All right, let me try this fucking.
Thick.
yeah, that's fucking cheers.
Oh, lovely. Anybody who says they don't like this
Here's
is lying
the
to themselves.
This one doesn't apply, but here's the being single, seeing double, and sleeping triple.
Hey.
It's the only toast I know.
Hey.
so I'm trying to think, if I should put
Oh, that is very different.
good or
It
bad?
has a different mouthfeel.
It's sugar.
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
It's like coated.
Sugar.
Oh,
all right, so I got to get
not good or bad,
nice
just
and not
different.
take out all the cords.
No, we usually don't move around much when we're recording.
I can grab stuff over there for you guys if you need it too. I got long arms. So
I like your bar though over there. You got some good gin. You got a little Montenegro. And Fernet. That's solid, man. Into it.
So yeah, the gin was a gift from the girls next door because I cleaned up some homeless poop for them, so they got me
Another
that
day
gift.
in the life.
I love the Fernet. I have some barrel, some Jack Daniel's barrel. What is that? It's not watered down.
today, Junior.
Yeah, I got that when I did the tour at Jack Daniel's. The
Only
Montenegro.
Marston drinks it.
The Montenegro.
Is from a future
I'm gonna
episode.
get in 1 month. Yeah. Maybe you guys are going to inspire one of our listeners to come
Yeah,
and at
we'll
the
say
beginning
that.
of the year and make us some drinks. It's possible.
Science.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Weird
So
science.
while you're mixing this, I have a question that I want to throw at Chris. Well, you can answer too. Have you heard of the Bartesian cocktail maker?
Sounds familiar. On Instagram?
I've seen it on Instagram and it's been advertised to me on podcasts that I listen to, and it seems like it's like a
Was it a robot?
what's the coffee maker? The
Nespresso.
Oh, the Nespresso.
it's like a Keurig,
I-
but for
Keurig.
cocktails.
Personally, I have not seen it. I've only seen videos of it.
Do you think that robots are coming for your job?
No.
Okay.
Because robots can't tell fucking jokes.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, neither
Yeah,
can
that's
I.
that human element
Clearly.
that I love so much, Jason. Fucking asshole.
I was just at the San Francisco airport and they have a robot coffee station.
Sure.
I was going to get some. It's the robot waves to you and shit.
That's not human.
No, but the problem was the only cold brew they had.
You rolled that so good.
They had banana cold brew, which sounded disgusting,
I'd try it. I love.
and then they
banana.
had
I like
peanut butter
banana
cold
coffee.
brew. I don't know. Artificial banana is just not the bee's.
Do you know
knees.
the thing with artificial banana? So it doesn't taste like bananas, but apparently we have genetically engineered bananas so much that the artificial banana flavor is what bananas used to taste like, but through all of this engineering that we've done with them, the taste has changed, and that artificial flavor just hasn't been updated.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, I don't remember where.
Is
I
that
heard
true?
that. I don't know.
I feel like I've heard that before.
pretty
Now, I don't
crazy.
know if I've heard it from you before, but we'll
mean,
say repetition makes permanent.
I've probably said it on the podcast.
I
before.
just think it's crazy that candy can grow on trees.
Oh,
That's
thank
what.
I mean,
My
you
father-in-law.
can taste the rainbow.
Ew,
You can
thank you
taste
so
the
much.
candy.
My father-in-law's favorite rum is like 100 bananas or something.
Yeah.
Is that like a rum? 99 bananas.
Bananas.
Yeah, I was just at an airport. I'm at an airport
That's his
lot.
favorite rum.
Yeah.
like his favorite.
Yeah.
You can only get him in nips, right?
No, but I saw one.
Can you get an actual
guys?
bottle? I've
Yeah.
only ever seen them in nips. I'm like, he's an
I
alcoholic.
Hand me that towel.
I was-
I made a terrible mess over it.
I was in a bathroom at an airport
Jason
recently.
does worse every
Probably
week.
I was in Austin bathroom, and in the stall because I went to go poop. there was a drinking nib of the or nip, or I don't know what they're called, of the 99 bananas just sitting on the toilet.
That's the only way I've
paper
ever
holder.
seen those is just in the little single bottles.
That's terrible, but
Yeah, I was like, good for you.
Yeah.
so the fact that people like essentially shoot that is
He was having
Confusing.
a day. He was having a day.
cheers.
Wait, what's this called?
What's
So
this?
this is Let's Go Blitzen.
Let's go.
So-
Let's go,
Blitzen.
Blitzen.
I mean, I'm on my way.
Let's Go Blitzen. And,
All right.
And again,
So far.
Bailey's,
Diversion.
Fernet, Coscabel, coffee liqueur, some cocoa bitters.
No straight booze. Yeah, great. Yeah, it tastes like a White Russian.
Yeah, just a little bit
It
darker.
does.
Less boozy. Or like a mudslide. Mudslide. That's,
Not
I'm
gonna
going
lie,
I don't
mudslide.
know if I've ever had
I
one.
wasn't sure what to think because I've never even had Bailey's before.
Yeah.
I think you
This is
went heavy
kind of
with
delicious. It tastes like
On the what?
Bailey's.
Yeah, the Bailey's kind of washes it. a
no,
little bit. But again, it was like guessing.
it tastes like
on what
cold hot chocolate.
Yeah.
there's definitely that. I think
If the-
also like if I was like,
or just or
Can
chocolate
we,
milk.
Can we add a cap of
I guess it's cold hot chocolate. Sorry.
I almost just spit cold hot chocolate everywhere. Oh my god!
Can we
I
do an
guess it's just
experiment?
Chocolate milk.
Can we add a cap of Broncomenta to everybody's drink?
there's nothing sacred about this
Let's
drink.
go.
So absolutely.
Let's
absolutely.
do a cap of Broncomenta.
I think
to
this is
everybody's drink.
delightful.
This is
as
one of those
is.
drinks that would fuck you up because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just like, oh, this is delicious.
So this
I
is
feel
like
like you could batch this and just fuck. Oh my god, I'd go hard on this.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things that it kind of gives you what I call sea legs, which is where like you feel like you're fine and you drink like 2 or 3 of them and then you get up and you fall over.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Y2K. We had a New Year's party.
Talk about a throwback.
We had a party, and for people that are listening that might be young, we didn't know if we were gonna die.
that was a real
it
concern.
was a real concern.
It really was.
So we threw a house party, and
Did we talk about this on the podcast recently, or was this an outside conversation?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Oh man, because I remember it. And I was fucking terrified.
Yeah, no, but my friend BJ made this like rum punch and like a squirter ball
BJ.
thing, and dude, I got so drunk.
Yeah, that's nice.
I
It was a good addition.
enjoy this more.
Well, it's in looking at the picture of the cocktail, it was actually lighter. So I think they even went heavier on the Baileys, but I didn't want it to get washed. And I also only went essentially like half ounce on the Fernet. So again, it was all guessing. Like I got what was in the drink, but not
Right.
what the actual
Yeah.
measurement. Not even in milliliters. I was joking
No,
about
this is
So like I had to guess.
You fucking got me, dude.
Yeah, I had to guess.
Over my head, like everything else.
nothing goes over my head. I have good reflexes. Shut up. I would jump up and catch it.
Is that a Drax line? It
is,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I probably
I'm
butchered it,
learning
though.
Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
You're learning Marvel just as it's getting real shitty. Well,
Yeah.
sort of.
No, I mean I started from the beginning.
Loki's the
It's all
best thing
the whole
Marvel's ever
thing's
done.
been shit.
Is that right?
I believe so. The writing is awesome. The acting is good. The set design, everything.
I think I've watched the first episode of the first season, and I not that I wasn't into it. I just got life.
Yeah, no, dude. There's shows where I forget that I've watched the first episode, and someone's like, "Have you watched that show?" And I'm like, "Oh, I did watch the first episode on a plane and totally forgot to watch it again."
Cool.
You guys looked at me like I was gonna. I sounded
You
like
took
I
a
was gonna say
breath.
something,
You took a
but-
breath.
You sucked your teeth. You said, "Huh?"
We're all experienced podcasters. We took our cue, and then you let us
you're
down.
right. I led you astray. Should we multitask because we do have the Rushmore to get to as
Yes,
well?
I
Yeah.
would.
Should-
I
Should
can't
we
wait to fucking talk
start
about this.
Getting into
So,
this,
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
into this Rushmore.
Yeah.
So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to build a Rushmore of a solo wrestler, a tag team, a non-wrestler, i.e., like a manager or
Anyone that's involved in wrestling that doesn't actually do mat stuff,
Right.
Although sometimes a manager gets slammed or something, but that
for
doesn't
sure.
count. That
Right.
doesn't count.
and then a wild card, which you can pick like a specific match or a specific event or just one of the previous categories. You can have 2 solo wrestlers, whatever you want. It's a wild card. Pick whatever.
Yeah.
So I do have a D20. So I'm going to roll that to see who
It's the
decides.
most nerdy thing I've ever heard you say. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll that to see who decides the order that we pick in. I'm going to say Jason. I mean, obviously we can't do odds and evens because
I'm
there's
like,
4 of us.
I'll go fourth.
20
I'll go fourth. I'll just say, how about, can we, that we're already somewhat closer.
Somebody's got to pick the order.
20 divided by 4 is what?
Basically, Jason, you're going to
5.
You're going to be 1 through 5.
1 through 5.
Chris will be
Thank
6
God
through
you own
10.
a business.
I've got this figured out. If you just listen, I can tell you what's going to happen.
Look, people don't get into barbering because we're smart.
Jason, you're going to be 1 through 5. Chris, you'll be 6 through 10. Drew will be
The rest.
11 through 15. I'll be 16 through 20. It's 9.
Hey.
So
Chris, number 1.
you get to choose the order of how we pick, and it is going to be a serpentine. It's going to be like kind of like a fantasy draft.
Okay.
I like it.
You get to choose who goes first. It could be you if you want, and then who goes second, third, fourth.
I'll go first because I don't know very much.
That makes sense. Cool.
Yeah, smart.
Who's going to go second?
Jason.
Okay.
Okay. Who's going to go third?
I'm going to put Drew as third.
Cool.
Oh, because he doesn't want to be.
All right. So
Yeah.
Nice.
That's exactly
I like
right.
it. I like what you're
Exactly
thinking.
right.
Yeah.
This is
So we're
No
going-
Christmas
talk
present
about
for
summing
you.
up our relationship.
So we're going Chris, Jason, Drew, then me.
Let's
to
do
round
it.
out, right?
I'm really excited about this because I feel like there's so many different variations I can take this into because it's like,
Oh yeah.
you can make the argument. It's like, okay, well, who's like the best pure wrestler versus like who had like the biggest impact and all these different things. So
There's so many
so fucking excited
so many
for this.
different ways to go.
I'm also fully prepared for you to tear apart every single one of my picks.
I'm gonna
I think
try
you're
not to.
You're gonna shit on my picks so hard, and I'm ready for it.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see what you guys come up with because obviously there's like there's so many different eras and we're all from different eras.
Oh, yeah.
That of like what really resonated at the time. There's going to be a little bit of crossover and I don't. Did we highlight that we're drinking Stone Cold beer? Like
So, out of El Segundo Brewing Company, we've got Steve Austin's Broken Skull American Lager, and on the side of the can, it's got his little signature and everything.
hell yeah.
It's pretty fucking
But
good.
let's not talk anymore about that because you never know what's going to come up.
That's true. Somebody could pick the namesake of the beer. Before we start, I want to clarify that we don't have to pick in those orders. You don't have to
Okay.
start with
Yeah.
a solo.
Yeah.
You don't have to take tag team second. You can pick these in whatever order you want. I also want to ask, have you heard about the new A24 movie coming out called The
Yes.
Iron Claw?
Iron
Claw.
I have to tell you, so it is like I love A24. I think like any millennial does. Like it's like standard issue that you have to like them.
That's my favorite studio.
Yeah, those are things that people say now, and it's about the Von Erichs,
Yeah.
and if you have any idea of like sad stories, there is
Yeah,
literally
it is.
nothing sadder than this story about this family.
I don't know if I want to watch it.
I feel the exact same way. Like
'Cause I
I'm
know
so
it's- I
excited
know
about
it's
the
gonna
people
come.
that are in it, and I know it is a good story, but it is fucking devastating.
Yeah.
And just to kind of like give you guys an idea of like what the story is going to be, is at one point the dad gets woken up at like 2 a.m. and by a phone call, and he just thought to himself, which one of my sons has died now?
Oh, shit.
So that just sums up the whole story, and it's like that's obviously bad,
That is a heavy thing to have to deal
but
with.
it is
but it's
so
also
much worse.
Not the worst thing the dad does.
Oh no, and that's the other thing that
Yeah.
you're also kind of like, but he's also a fucking dirtbag.
Yeah.
So
Jason knows the shit a little bit. Holy fuck.
it was.
I know wrestling.
It was a
Alright.
big deal. I mean, and again, I think it's going to be incredible. It really is a fascinating story, but it is absolutely gut wrenching. And it's like,
I'm
and just
excited
when
for
you
it.
think it's not going to get worse, it gets fucking worse. Like, you're just kind of like, okay, stop hitting me in the face now. Like that's it. And I don't know if I can sit in a theater and watch that because I mean, again, 3 of us have children, and then you're busy with stuff.
Yeah, I'm here.
And it's just kind of like, it's like, do I want to spend an hour and a half just being upset? And like, I don't know if I do. And because there's no redemption here. It's not like you get to the end and kind of like, and then so-and-so really made it. It's like, no, it fucking doesn't happen. It's just kind of like, well, and now I'm going to split my wrist after this. So
Fucking
thank you
amen.
very much. So yes, I have heard of it. I'm very conflicted. I might see it eventually, like at home in the comfort of my own pillows and blankets to cry into, but we'll see. It's going to be great, but it is a gut wrenching story.
Here's the problem with movies and Parenthood is I cry a lot more at the most ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
See,
I
I
teared
should
up-
never be a parent just because I already cry.
I
so
teared
fucking
up
easy
watching
in movies.
Shazam today.
Shazam?
The last Shazam I teared up with.
Huh.
It didn't deserve it. I'm just soft. No.
I had to.
That was a bad movie.
I
You're
had
right.
to stop watching certain TV shows once I had a kid.
Yeah.
I used the first 48 was a show I watched all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. And then like my son, he's a baby. I'm holding him. I'm watching an episode, and there's usually two stories, an A and a B story. The A story was this dad who they were having a birthday party, so he decided to go to the corner store, to a bodega, to get some.
Nice callback.
Yeah,
That was good.
Some something for the party. The bodega gets robbed, and he gets just shot and killed randomly. So now this kid has no dad, and I'm thinking, I don't want my son to not have a dad. And then the B story was this like 8-year-old girl who's having a birthday party in the park. Someone comes and shoots up something else over there, and little 8-year-old girl gets hit with a fucking stray bullet. And now she's dead. And I'm just like,
Now I'm upset over
nope,
this podcast
a
now.
dead dad and a dead girl.
fuck.
Yeah. And like I was like, yeah, I can't watch this anymore.
Nope.
Never
Yeah,
watched
it
this
is, so that's what like I mean again, it's my time is like everybody, like people are busy, people are finding, and it's so what do? I just rewatch Star Trek nonstop. Like that's all I do at this point. And then when a new Star Wars show comes out, of course I watch that.
TNG?
And then we talk about it. Oh, well, I watch all of them. Right now I'm currently in a TNG run. And I'm also listening to Patrick Stewart's autobiography.
Oh, shit.
Which
How's
is
that?
very in depth. There are no details left out. It is
Does
18 hours.
Does he narrate it?
He does.
Watch this. Watch this.
Love
Watch this.
that.
Engage.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did he just walk in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, we're on video now.
Yeah.
We can't really. claim that.
Yeah.
Drop your pants.
All right,
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
I'm
wait.
sorry to
That was
have
worse Sean Connery.
That was Sean Connery, sir.
conversation to such a bummer. I didn't
No.
mean- I
All
didn't
the
mean to
parents
bum
out there are
y'all
going to be
out.
like, yeah, they're going to think of this one movie.
All
Like,
right,
yeah,
Chris.
fuck that movie.
Chris, you're first.
Oh, yeah.
Chris,
Go ahead.
you are first. Give us your solo, your tag team, your non-wrestler, or your wild card. What's your first pick?
Ooh, man. My tag team. Okay, so I stopped watching probably before 1990.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right. We're different
my
zones.
Golden era. So
My
you're golden era.
basis is anything that survived that era as well. So I would say Macho Man has probably
Great
single best like franchise brand gone on beyond wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
the
that's
voice
pretty
good.
everyone knows.
Yeah, the cream's rising. Yeah.
Ooh, let me tell you something,
Well, and he's also
brother.
someone that lets you. He let you know it's okay for men to cry.
Yeah.
Saw is ready.
Oh yeah.
I've got you for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That's 2 minutes of playtime.
The crazy thing about his death, right?
Wait, so you said tag team? Are you taking?
No.
Okay.
No, that was the solo.
Your solo.
Is your
Okay,
solo.
cool.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Great pick.
He died they thought in a car crash in his Jeep.
Right.
Turned out he had a heart attack.
Yes.
And that's why the Jeep crashed. Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy, right?
And it
crazy. That
wasn't
fucking
too
sucks.
long after his rap album came out.
Oh.
So
He's a
I
rap
totally
album?
forgot about the rap album.
boy
Yeah.
does he. And you guys were talking about the Shaq raps recently,
We
which
sure
you
were.
like you definitely were vibing on that. And I just was like, he needs to invest some time into that
will
Macho
absolutely
Man Randy
check that
Savage.
out. I had no idea that
Yeah,
existed. That's fucking incredible.
It's not great.
Is it
So
like
he did not
that?
have the collaboration
And
abilities
yet-
that Shaq had.
And yet,
Is it like, ooh yeah, I love the girls. They're so pretty. They rub on my
and
balls when
it's also
they're
like
needy.
peak him and Miss Elizabeth just being on a lot of drugs, and it's just like it's pretty. I mean,
Not to bring up
like-
anything that anyone else could choose.
yeah, like Macho is one of my favorites as well, and he was someone that always suffered from like really significant paranoia. And so, like, watching that unfold over years and then culminating in a rap album is just the weirdest thing ever.
Should I powerbomb? No. Should I clothesline? No. I don't know.
That's probably a rip. That's probably one of them. I didn't get through the whole album. You might be right.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah. Right on. Macho Man's a great fucking pick.
Yeah,
definitely
agreed.
was on my list, but obviously I can't take him now. Jason, what's your first pick?
I'm gonna go with the tag team.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the greatest tag team ever, but it's one of my favorites. And it's sort of a cheating kind of a pick. I'm going to go with the Rock and Sock Connection.
Fuck
Oh,
you. God
great
damn it.
pick.
Yeah.
That was.
I got Mankind and I got The Rock in that, right?
Yeah.
Like two people that you would not think would ever wrestle
No.
together. But it was so good. And then when
There was one match where Mankind, all he wanted to do was the fucking rock bottom. And like they were in the back before the match, and The Rock was like, "You're not fucking doing that. Like that's my move." And then he gives him permission in the match to do it. It's so fucking cool. I don't remember what match it was.
there's something that they did in the ring that went long. I don't know if someone's going to pick it later for like a wild card, but it was amazing.
So the best part about the Rock and Sock connection is like the Rock, this is your life.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what? So sorry.
Someone could pick that, but it is
no. But that's like
it was so
is wild
good.
card a moment? It could be a moment.
It can be.
Yeah, it could be a
well,
moment.
now I feel
it could
awful.
be anything.
But I just want people to know it's like if you really want to enjoy something and you do have some frame of reference for that time, like Rock, this is your life, because they've tried to do it since then and it has gone terribly.
It was because it was like it wasn't even supposed to be what it was.
Yeah, totally.
And then it took on a life of its own. And it's called the Rock and Sock connection because you got The Rock and you had Mankind who had Socko,
Yeah.
which was this dirty sock he would shove in their mouth.
Doing the mandible claw.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that I gotta tell you, very effective. I have 2 younger brothers. They can attest.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Great pick.
All right, Drew. Let's move on to your first pick.
So I mean, again, there's so many different directions that I can go with this, but I'm gonna as like my solo wrestler, and I think probably one of the most influential people, not only in the United States and with WWE, but also like
in film,
just across. Not even with film, no, because he has not made that transition, which I also love about because he's still very much so. He's a fucking wrestler. He's not an actor. He's not all this other bullshit. He's like, no, I'm a fucking wrestler, and that's going to be Rey Mysterio Jr.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. So
shit.
he is my all-time
The
favorite.
luchador.
That
I'm
tracks for him.
Yeah, he is
you
the
do
greatest luchador of all
luchador
time.
masks.
You can read his book, which he does in kayfabe, which is infuriating.
The book is?
The book is in kayfabe. So
I
kayfabe
would say, let them
is
know.
basically the mindset of like you're keeping up the the storyline and stuff. And so like he is like this is real fighting and this is real things. And so I could not get through the book because now we live in like when we were growing up, it was definitely an era of kayfabe where like all this stuff was very real. And then
Also, we didn't grow up at the same time. But go ahead.
But I'm saying is like
Yes.
but it was still going through through the 80s through the 90s.
Still
and
real to me.
But now it's still real for me. Damn it! Like over the last 15 years, especially with social media, is that kayfabe wall has kind of come down.
Yeah.
And so people are a lot more aware of kind of what happens. But at the time when Rey Mysterio's book came out, he writes it in kayfabe, and it is fucking infuriating. Because you do want to, because there's obviously nuggets of truth throughout the entire thing.
Sure.
Right. And there are stories, but then there's also things like, and then, Conan put me in this really hard match. Like, fuck you, man. Like, shut up. Like, don't say that, you know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just, and so, but it is really interesting. And again, like, he's a guy that, started in WCW, which was what I really watched growing up. And then he was one of the,
someone had cable.
yeah, hella rich.
Yeah,
hella
over
rich.
here, humble brag. I had cable.
And so
by the way.
he did
Rest
that.
in
Went
peace,
to
Harris Willis.
WWE, and then he did an independent circuit, which is to say, like he was wrestling in Japan. Of course, he was wrestling in Mexico and all over the world. And like depending on how awful you are about this stuff, like me, like you can go on YouTube and watch some pretty epic matches of like him in like a community hall, just tearing the fucking roof
Let me
off.
ask this: what was the reception of him in Mexico? Were they like, "Fuck you, you're not a real luchador," or were they like, "We love you because we're famous on WWF"?
So he started in Mexico, in Tijuana, and so the way that wrestling is or lucha is treated in Mexico is really, I mean, you can go to Mexico right now and they'll put on ESPN and they will show wrestling. Like they take it very serious. Like kayfabe is still very much so alive. Same thing with Japan. Like they have real reporters. It is very much so still a thing. So he actually received his name from his uncle, and it was a very big deal for him to kind of work his way up and then be granted the mask that he wears. So within Mexico, he is an absolute god.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not like that's where he built his reputation, and then getting into WCW, and then kind of got rocket strapped from there. But yeah, no, he's very much so
rocket strapped.
Yeah.
Isn't there a mural of him here in Sacramento?
No
Is there?
shit.
Oh, I thought so. At
A Cantina?
Cantina.
They have like Blue Demon and
okay.
and stuff like that. So I don't think they
That was
have
gonna
any
be my next
Mysterios.
pick. Damn it.
Which
There's
is
some other guys that you can get.
if you go to Mexico, that's like the most common mask you see for sale.
Oh yeah, so when I was down there in Guadalajara,
No,
you
Blue
like
Demon. Oh.
yeah, the Blue Demon is a big one.
Demon
there-
Azul.
There's some really I mean like those guys again, like they again, you can go to Cantina Alley, they'll play a lot of those old movies like that star those wrestlers. But
Nacho.
like I've been to I went to WrestleMania last year, so I went to the show of shows.
Yeah.
But I've also been to matches in Guadalajara, and they are like almost as much fun, if not more fun, because then you actually get to participate in the show, and it's great. So even if you don't like wrestling, it's fucking rad. Like
Yeah.
it's super fun.
Have you been to any of the like local wrestling events that like we've got like it's not pro wrestling. It's what would you even call it?
It's called Independence.
Okay.
I haven't been to a match. Oddly enough, though, I have like met multiple
Really?
of them,
Okay,
like somehow, because I think I wear a lot of wrestling T-shirts, and so they like kind of like they like seek me out, and
Yeah.
they're never big or anything. Like I'm always like bigger than them, and I'm kind of like oh okay, good for you. Like I know like one of the guys I met him at Shady Lady last year during Cocktail Week this year, and he's like the current Sacramento like cruiserweight champ. He was fucking awesome. He was a really cool dude. But I haven't been to any of the independent shows. I get a lot of them like clips sent to me because I'm typically the only wrestling fan that
Yeah.
people know, and so I get a lot of independent wrestling clips, and they're usually disasters, and they're like really kind of sad to watch.
If you got popular enough with them and they asked you to like commentate at one, would you do it?
100%.
Oh my god, that'd be so fun.
I think you say yes to everything
Yeah.
for the most part.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
right.
That's a good
So
point.
I would not
That's
say
a
no
fun
to that.
gig.
That'd be
Yeah.
so fucking great.
Yeah.
And
Well-
I think you'd be great at it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think the only thing that I would struggle with in what you see like against these guys like who are really good at it is like they know all the moves, and I know a lot of moves, but like there's some stuff that gets pulled out, and you have those
wild
things.
shit.
And like, and one of the things I think is really interesting that most people don't know is like the commentators who do WWE. One of the things that they have to deal with, and not as much anymore because he's retired, but like Vince McMahon would talk to those guys in their ears as they were commentating.
I believe it.
Could you imagine someone
Your
feeding
boss.
you information
Your
right
boss.
now, and you're just kind of like, oh, it's a pile driver, and Vince is in the back of me like, make sure you mention this. You're just kind of like, I guess I have to listen and talk. Like that's
It's the original Impractical Jokers.
oh, that's exactly what it is. And it's so I find that fascinating, and I think about it because I mean, Vince isn't as involved anymore, thank God. But
He's a fucking monster, man.
Yeah.
yeah, he's still. Like, did you guys see his like the mustache that he unveiled this past year?
Yeah.
Oh, he looks like he's
He
gonna
has a
tie someone to the
mustache?
Yeah,
like
it was odd.
like if you had to guess.
Full on twisty.
Yeah, so picture someone like tying a woman to the railroad tracks. That's what Vince McMahon looks like.
But they're yoked.
But he's like 80 something, and when he was
Is he still ripped?
he's still pretty big. I mean, he's definitely. I mean, there's only so much you can do at that age. But I got to see him a couple years ago. They came to Sacramento. They did a holiday show, and for the holiday shows, what they do is they record both shows back to back. Right. So you do your full show that's going to air that week, and then they just do like kind of like a really quick show that's going to air the next week. And during that show, Vince McMahon came out, like the whole
shit.
McMahon family, which was not expected. And at the time, like the ratings were really low and all this different stuff. There's like not too many things that compare to the excitement and like the quote unquote pop that you feel when you hear No Chance come on as his entrance
yeah,
music.
for sure.
Like the whole crowd just lost their fucking mind.
Yeah.
And again, this is at a time when everybody hated him.
Oh yeah.
But it was like, the chairman's here,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's coming out, and it was definitely one of my top like wrestling moments. It was so fun.
That's
Okay.
So, but yeah, but he also again he's gonna tie you to railroad tracks now,
Yeah.
so you gotta be careful.
I'm gonna get going on mine.
Okay.
Good call.
Justin's gonna start picking.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm
I'm gonna
take
need you to reach behind you though and hand me the two ingredients that I have for
Angostura?
you. The Peychaud's and the gum syrup.
The moment has passed, but I was
you.
gonna say one of the worst things about
Do you need
being
ice, too?
a WWF announcer is if you speak Spanish, because it's guaranteed that your whole table is gonna get crushed.
Yeah,
The
that's
Spanish
actually
announce table.
that's
always
actually
gets
a
crushed.
bet that you can do online.
Oh,
is that
that's
like
fun.
if
Will
the
it?
Spanish announce table will be crushed?
And
Yeah.
then they just stand there the rest of the fucking match.
Well, those things like they have the collapsible walls on them, so you can rebuild them
Yeah, yeah.
pretty easily. But there are times where like it goes a little bit awry, and like they just get to stand and announce after that, which is hilarious.
This is the pick I'm waiting for.
Mine?
Yeah.
My first pick?
Your first and second.
Oh, yeah, because it is time for my first and second. I'm rounding out the first round and starting the second round. I'm starting with my tag team because if I don't get these guys, I'm going to be fucking bummed. I'm picking the Dudley Boys.
Okay.
Oh, love
The
it.
Dudley Boys, I feel, are like all-time greatest fucking tag team. They're so fucking fun to watch.
Which Dudley Boys? I mean, ECW Dudley Boys?
I mean, I was WWF. Yeah.
All right.
I was WWF era for sure. But they were just fucking insane. Like they didn't fucking care about
dude,
anything.
they were because they came from the ECW, the Extreme
Right. Yes.
Championship
Right.
Wrestling.
I-
So they were
I
used
knew-
to doing crazy shit.
For sure. And I never watched any of that. Like I didn't have a background there. I came in and left during WWF. Like I'm you're gonna see like the era with my pick. With my
Bubba
picks.
and what's the other one's name? Bubba.
Devon.
Devon.
yeah.
Bubba and Devon.
Yeah, and Devon is now a producer for WWE, and Bubba is now Bully. And he's Bully Ray, and he wrestles on Impact, and he is still
really?
he still goes, and
No
he's actually
shit.
like pretty good. He also hosts a weekly wrestling show or daily on like Sirius, and he's got a lot of opinions.
Do you get Spike and what was her name? The hot chick, Dudley.
Oh, Spike Dudley was the best.
Spike Dudley was like he looked like just the tiniest, skinniest little dude.
No, I'm specifically taking just Bubba and Devon.
Okay.
So they're still on the table if you want to take them. Because I'm just taking them as the tag team.
They were such a good. They're always breaking tables.
Oh, that's their thing.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
fucking love breaking tables.
Is that their finisher?
It was one of.
It was because it was like it was like the 3D.
He's gonna know.
And
3D.
so,
Yeah.
God damn it! And it'd be like, Bubba would be like, Devon, get the tables, and so basically what they would do is they would throw the guy or girl because they definitely did this to women as well, and then Devon
some
would
women for sure.
would like pick them up and then it would be kind of like a almost like a neck breaker type. See, this is why I can't announce because I don't remember all the names.
They've also
And then they would go right into the
powerbombed
tables.
Some women.
Hurricane Rana.
Dangerous
Yeah.
ways, and that might be a wild card later.
Yeah, totally with you on that one.
Dudley Boys are fantastic. I fucking loved watching them. I don't want to bring up another tag team, but there was another tag team that when I was first getting into wrestling, I was like more into. But then I started watching the Dudley Boys, and it was just like they're fucking way cooler. And Bubba has that 1,000-yard stare. Like after he fucking powerbombs somebody, he'll just like fucking stare.
Yeah.
He gets this crazy look in his eye. He's fucking insane. Like he's terrifying. They're absolutely fantastic. So yeah, first pick is my tag team. It's the Dudley Boys.
Before you take your second one,
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
You're mixing a drink here, but then you're pouring a little bit of drink in there.
He's being a real snooty asshole right now.
No.
Being a real snooty asshole right now.
Oh, and then he's pouring
He's
it
not wrong.
out. So you're just like,
He's
rinsing the
doing
glass.
a rinse of the glass with some absinthe.
am I gonna see things?
Yeah, we're gonna trip balls. dude.
Tripping balls.
I got
baby.
a great absinthe story for you. So years ago, I mean probably in my early 20s, and dating this girl, and her brother and girlfriend at the time go on this trip to Brazil, and they bring back this
Brazil.
Yeah, they bring back this absinthe drink.
Brazil.
Okay, and this absinthe drink came in fucking cans. Okay,
Oh.
and gave us a couple of them. And it was one of those situations where we're sitting there and we drink the first can and we're sitting there for like an hour, nothing's happening. And it's kind of like, well, this absinthe is bullshit. Let's do another one. And then my next memory is waking up naked. So, yeah.
This edible ain't doing shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But I think about that every time when I think about absinthe, where I'm like, oh yeah. And then I woke up and I was no longer wearing clothes.
Jason's got a comically large roll of paper towels. coming in.
In case you need a paper towel.
show the camera the tube.
The Flair bartender just sent booze everywhere.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. I bought this for the memes and never made the meme.
That's the best. It's a huge paper towel roll. I need that for my house.
May I have the lemon?
Thick.
Yeah, she has.
2 C's.
Okay, so then who's your number 2 pick?
Number 2, I'm gonna take my wild card. I'm picking an event.
Oh.
Okay.
I feel like this event is a good match to show people when they say wrestling isn't real, because it shows how fucking dangerous it can actually be.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
You
It's
motherfucker.
the perfect intro because it not only that, it gets people into wrestling. June 20th, 1998, King of the Ring. Undertaker versus Mankind.
Oh yeah,
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
fucking insane.
that was the match I was going to take. Yeah, I mean that's
good.
That's the match.
There's halfway through the match, you think that Mankind has a booger hanging out of his nose, but it's his fucking tooth that went through his fucking
face.
lip.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And then
they're up on top of the cage. Basically, the ring is in an enclosed
like a
chain
cage
link
match.
fence.
Yeah.
And they're up. They start up on top, and Undertaker fucking throws Mankind off of the top into one of the commentator tables, and he's down for
Probably
a
the Spanish
while.
table.
Yeah.
He's down for a while.
It's a 20-foot drop.
And I've watched an interview with Undertaker and Mankind, like reviewing this footage. And Undertaker was like, I didn't know if you were okay or not. Like, I was just up there, like, waiting to see what's going to go on. And, like, they've got, like, the medical team out there checking him out. And then he finally comes back and finishes the match. And it gets fucking intense. Like,
When he goes
put their bodies
through
through so much.
the top onto the tacks, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
I didn't know that till years
Right.
later.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's basically the ties that were it was basically like little zip ties that were holding the chain link fence to the frame. And they just fucking snapped under both of their weight.
And you can tell, you can see how when Mankind lands on the actual mat, because he wasn't supposed to crash through the second fence. Like that's where the mistake was. And when he lands like on his shoulders, it's a brutal fucking match.
It's insane.
Now here's the thing. Like, wrestling's predetermined. They know who's going to win each match. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
Like, but they don't like rehearse the full match. Like, they talk to each other while they're wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're not really punching people in the face, although they do sometimes.
Yeah.
They pull their punches. But I mean, they really put their bodies through hell.
Oh, absolutely.
So did you ever see that movie, Fighting with My Family?
No.
I wanted to so bad.
So it's actually pretty good, and it's
Is it?
it's
Okay.
about a wrestler and it's an actual wrestler, and she's still wrestling today. But at one point, the mother of this like wrestling family, because like they do this like they have like this independent wrestling in the UK. She says like, wrestling's not fake, it's fixed.
Yeah.
And
there
then,
you go. Yeah.
And then so basically like what
I like
what
that.
you
That's a good saying.
like getting to that point and telling that story, which is why for me, I came back into wrestling as an adult because I was like, the storytelling is so good and it's fun to kind of lose yourself into it.
It's a soap opera.
It is a soap opera just with like big sweaty men, which is great.
Yeah.
Just
The best kind of soap
slapping
opera.
meat, that's what it is. And I really do truly appreciate that. And like in terms of kind of predetermining, there's kind of a couple different ways that they do it. So there are times where the whole match is mapped out. So like if you look at like Macho Man again with his paranoia, like he would always go to his competitors and be like, what are like that you're doing it at this time, like reviewing the match constantly. But then there's also guys who basically call it live.
Yeah.
And so if they have good chemistry, like they're making it up as they go, which I think is just absolutely incredible.
And it wasn't until later I found out how much the referee is involved with it. Also.
100%.
Like
yeah.
he's kind of running the show a lot of the time.
Yeah. Well, he's communicating everything from the back.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you guys need to wrap it up. It's like you're going long. Like he's getting, because the same way the announcers have Vince in their ear, like the ref also has
for sure.
has that and then things and then of course like they're also there for safety. So like if you're ever watching a wrestling match and a referee pops up and he crosses his arms, that means like someone actually got hurt. And that's a scary thing to be a part of. So
I need to wait until the end because it could be a wild card pick. But there's something I want to ask you about, and I hope I remember.
Speaking of putting things in our mouth,
put it in your notes.
Let's put this in our mouth.
Before we put it in our mouth.
And what are we putting in our mouth?
This is a classic Sazerac cocktail.
Ooh,
Sazerac.
This is
a staple.
hands down one of my favorites.
All right.
This is
Thank you, sir.
the
Appreciate
Sinclair
this.
drink.
This one's scaring me.
This is one that
boozy.
I love so much. I rarely let another human make for me.
Who's a Sazerac? What is a Sazerac?
I don't know.
Is it a person that first made this drink?
No.
Johnny Sazerac.
No, it got made at the Sazerac Hotel in Sazerac Lounge in New Orleans.
Oh,
That
New
is
Orleans.
really good. That's delicious.
It is. I think it's funny because like obviously Chris knows how to make a lot of really good drinks, but this is the only one that he tells people how to make when he goes to bars, which I find absolutely absurd. Because you do let people like be bartenders and enjoy
That's
and stuff
good,
like
but
that.
it's boozy.
But this is the one that you're like non-negotiable. Like this is how you make this. Which
Absolutely.
He's like you're like one of those insufferable people that like hand cards to bartenders
Yeah.
with like cocktail recipes,
Yeah.
but you just do it.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm getting a little bit of black licorice. Is that coming through on the absinthe?
That's
rinse?
absinthe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm surprised that just rinsing the glass, you can still get that much of the flavor in there.
Yeah.
That's impressive, huh?
Absinthe is potent.
What
like
else goes
this
into
dick.
this? Jesus Christ. What else goes into it?
So I did a split base, and there's a lot of history that goes into it that we don't have time for today, but of both rye and cognac.
Okay.
So at one point in time, this was a cognac cocktail, and then it turned into a rye cocktail.
Gotcha.
Because of the world.
Yeah.
So I like to do both because I think they both bring something to the mix.
For sure, yeah.
In this case, though, I've got like a beautiful cognac and a beautiful rye.
I think I can officially say that I've had cognac now.
You can also you can consume anything out of that bottle that you would like.
Just so you guys know, like if you order this at a bar, you're probably gonna get just whiskey. Like not many places are doing cognac, which is really a shame because it's like the rest of the world has figured out how amazing grape distillates are and have been drinking them for hundreds and hundreds of years, and Americans are fucking assholes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And if I'm not, tell me if I'm wrong. Cognac, like champagne, like tequila, has to be made in like the cognac region.
Correct,
Correct?
yeah.
In France?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's called a designation of origin, is what it
Yeah.
is. But and that extends to like, I mean, we hear that the most often with like champagne and stuff, but like that also applies to like food and things like that as well.
yeah.
So that's something that, it's just a way to protect, like countries are able to protect like intellectual property and stuff like that across borders. Although, oddly enough, with that being the case, America doesn't actually recognize a lot of them.
Yeah, most of them.
Most of them we don't recognize, and the only time that we do recognize them is when they come up in trade negotiations with other countries. So, like for example, like one is like Cachaça, which is like a cane distillate from
I think
Brazil.
I dated her.
Yeah, she's a hottie. She's a hottie. So
Not Chris's cousin.
No.
no, not yet.
Second cousin.
Third.
Still got it. Still got it.
All right, Drew, what's your second pick? You got a tag team, non-wrestler, or wild card?
So I really struggled with this one because I know I wanted to go tag team, and there's like right now in today's current wrestling world, like there is some amazing tag team wrestling that's happening. Like if there's any reason to watch wrestling right now, it's because of the tag team wrestling. Now with that said, I'm going to go to the two guys that like really kind of opened up my eyes to wrestling and then brought me back in 2017, I think is because I was like, I went to a show because I got free tickets, hadn't watched wrestling in 10 years. These guys came out and I was like, these fuckers are still wrestling. And I was back in. And so my tag team pick is going to be none other than the infamous Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Oh,
Dude,
the Hardy Boys.
That was the tag team
shit.
that I was super into until I realized how fucking cool the Dudley Boys were.
So when they have that beautiful story together where it's the Dudleys, it's the Hardy Boys, and then it's Christian and Edge end up putting on some of the most amazing things. So like if you really want to watch,
and they're all actually brothers.
and well, Christian and Edge aren't, but the other
The Dudley Boys, for sure, brothers.
Oh no, they're definitely brothers.
Twins.
Yeah. And so, so with that being the case, it's like if you go back through the history, I mean, the stuff that they do is really incredible, but really it comes down to, I think it's like 98 at WrestleMania, the first table, ladders, and chairs match, which is the most insane stuff that you'll ever see in your life. And again, like these guys invented it.
And it tracks because they are like American luchadors.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, for
So that tracks for you.
Yeah, they're from North Carolina, but it's pretty much and it was, and they just had like this like really rebellious, attitude, and like you just when you hear that music, for the Hardy Boys to come out, and then watching them reinvent themselves over the last 30 years, which is really fucking crazy. It's just it's really impressive. It's so much fun, and like the Swanton Bomb, all those things, like
cool.
they're run. I mean, like like these guys are totally into it when you think about the run that Matt Hardy did with Lita, which for me,
I feel like you get Lita also.
well, so like
I
in
was
Lita,
gonna try and bring her up because she made me feel a funny way as a kid.
yeah, like Alyssa Lana for you, Lita for me.
Lita is was badass, dude.
Yeah, and she's still gorgeous, and she can still go.
She was like the first like female luchador I feel like I saw.
Yeah, and she was amazing, and during the time, like she was at one point dating Matt Hardy, and then Matt got hurt, and she started messing around with him with Edge, Adam Copeland, in real life, and then they turned it into an actual storyline on TV.
Not the first time that's happened.
No, and it happens constantly. I mean, like when
no, we won't get into any of
yeah,
the
it's just
ones,
it's amazing
never know
how
who's gonna pick
often
what.
they look at real life and kind of go, we can work with this.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like this
sure.
this is the most hurt that Matt's ever felt in his life, because he was at home getting, like laid up with an injury, and then his buddy is banging his girl. Like, terrible.
I think Joni Lawler could relate.
Oh, there's so many people. I mean, again, I don't want to ruin someone's wild card moment, but we'll try to bring up, a couple later that are like, you feel are super inappropriate and things like that. Like, even though, actually, I can say this because it's part of the Hardy's Boy, but like, Jeff Hardy, if you pay attention to the back pages, has an extensive history of getting in trouble for drinking and driving and drugs and things like that. And they actually
he is from North Carolina.
Well, yeah, they put that into a storyline at one point, his alcohol abuse. So super supportive people in the WWE.
Yeah, they're monsters.
So that's mine. So
That is a great tag team.
So the Hardy Boys. And again, there's so many great ones that are current, but
I had it was a struggle between them and the Dudleys.
I was worried that you were gonna take them based on kind of what you were saying, and like when you went Dudleys, I was like, thank God, so I can get my boys.
Fuck yeah,
go
cool.
there.
Everybody's happy so far.
Yeah.
Jason, how are you gonna make us unhappy?
I'm gonna take the non-wrestler.
Okay.
I'm going with this OG motherfucker who. I grew up in the golden era, and it doesn't get any better to me than Mean Gene. Mm-hmm. Mean Gene
I don't
Okerlund.
even know that name.
You don't know that name?
No.
If you had to guess who he was,
I'd say he was like the Jolly Green Giant, but real mean.
No, Mean Gene Okerlund.
didn't have a mean bone in his body. Yeah. He was like the interviewer. He interviewed all the wrestlers like in between the matches.
He's a non-wrestler. Okay.
Yeah, he's the non-wrestler, and his voice was great. Like, they even made like a wrestling toy of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's like the original, like, just badass interviewing motherfucker.
I always, growing up, I always mistook him and the Micro Machine Man.
Oh, I could see that.
Does he
Very
talk real fast?
No, but he doesn't have hair,
And
just like him.
both
For
have
sure.
mustaches?
Maybe,
But he primarily worked, during the WCW days. So you see a lot of him with, like he would be the guy that came with like, you guys are just rascals. Like, you're just real bad dudes. And they're just kind of like, oh, Mean Gene's going in on these guys.
And then he would like stir them up, like, so Macho Man.
I feel like if I see him,
He wears
I'll
a
recognize-
tuxedo.
Oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and that's not even that's
Macho Man, you have WrestleMania coming up
I for
against
sure know that guy.
XYZ. Like, and he said this. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Like,
He's coming for my ass, so I'm going to come in his ass.
Yeah.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
They said shit like that all the time.
Yeah.
that's a great pick.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Mean Gene.
Mean Gene, great pick. Chris, you've got your tag team non-wrestler or wild card?
Non-wrestler.
Okay.
We're going to go with Ron Jeremy.
Oh,
Ron Jeremy.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. Good call.
Is it?
I love it.
Okay, go with it.
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
Ron Jeremy at the time, like, I mean, everybody knows him as a porn star, but everybody knew him as a porn star, right? And especially going into the 80s, he was already getting fat. He was already getting older. And
In jail, by the way. Anyway, go ahead.
Currently? Well, now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Not
lots
Oh,
of predatory behavior.
Yeah, I did hear
He was in. I didn't even know he was in wrestling.
comes with the
yeah,
territory.
he made like one or two.
So early on in the WrestleMania
cameos.
days, they what they basically did was they had to bring in guys like him and other things. So like at WrestleMania 1, like the biggest draw of WrestleMania 1, Cyndi Lauper.
Oh yeah.
Because at the time,
yeah, she was-
wrestling
Or,
wasn't
as we've covered on this podcast before, Cyndi Lauper.
okay. Yeah, that. So but that's what they had to do is they would bring people in to kind of be like, well, we got to reach the porn demographic. So they brought in Ron Jeremy.
Do you think she banged the captain, Cyndi Lauper?
Yes.
He was in like her videos, all the shit. Captain Lou
Captain
Albano.
Ron?
I don't know this reference.
Captain Lou Albano.
No.
You don't know him?
So you don't know it either. So you're in my boat. I'm the captain now, dog.
You know Captain. You don't know Captain Lou Albano?
No, I've seen him. Yes.
He had like a piercing in his cheek with a rubber band on it. But he was like when Cyndi Lauper was really into wrestling for a while.
Okay.
And like he was in a couple of her music videos. He kind of looks like Super Mario Bro.
I love that we live in a world you can just like look it up.
There you go. Yeah, that's an older picture, but yeah. There he goes right there.
Oh yeah, I do. I
Let me
remember
see.
him.
What are we looking at? I have no
Show the
idea.
camera.
Who that man is.
Again, I'm over
Here,
it.
zoom in.
Zoom in. Yeah, if you tell Justin to do something in editing, he doesn't do it. Put our phone number right here. He doesn't do it. It's all right.
Sorry, man.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I love you anyway.
So Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, Ron Jeremy. It was comedic. It drew people in. It still causes people to like. That shit still shows up on like the internet now, like on Instagram. People still throw that stuff out there as memes and whatnot.
I met him once.
Pretty iconic. I did too. He motorboated a friend of mine at a strip club in New Orleans, and it was exciting and weird and scary all at the same time.
Was it weird in retrospect because you're just kind of like, oh, that's behavior we can't, you know?
No. At the time, it was like it just came out of nowhere. There was like it felt very like cocaine fueled or something.
It wasn't like, hey, I'm Ron Jeremy. Can I motorboat your boobies?
No, it was hi, I'm Ron Jeremy. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha.
Oh,
I kind of
That's pretty creepy.
I gotta, you know what? I gotta side with Ron Jeremy on this. It's like you're in a strip club. He said hello, and then
He did greet himself. He's no longer.
he
a
was
stranger.
nice. He was really nice and gracious to me. I will say that. I met him in Vegas, and now I wonder if I still have the footage. I had my video camera.
Oh,
and,
was it mounted up against the bed?
No. Yeah, let me tell you, I did not walk right the next day. Boner on point. No, and I was like, "Oh, can I, film you?" He was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "What's your name?" I was like, "Jason." He's like, "Hey, this is Jason. Let me tell you one thing. He gets more pussy in one day than I get all week." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, that's rad."
Thanks.
let's go to
Ron.
my dating profile.
Yeah. There was no profiles back then.
No, it's just the VHS tape.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it would go out and that'd be part of like your highlight reel, So we've all seen those.
All right, well, that's your
Yeah, I think Ron
non-wrestler.
Jeremy is a great non-wrestler pick. Chris,
You're going
are
again.
up again for your tag team or your wild card.
I'm gonna go wild card.
Okay.
I'm gonna go when the first Undertaker passed away.
For sure.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
do
that
tell.
that was the moment I think a lot of people in my era realized there was a lot of risk involved. Also, a lot of confusion around how it could have happened. The OG Undertaker passed away, suffocating to death in his coffin as he was being carried out onto.
Oh my God.
It's fucking brutal.
Into
Yeah.
the ring.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
Way to bring the podcast down.
No, I did that. I did that earlier by bringing up the fucking Iron Claw movie.
Yeah. That's all right. Then I brought up death.
I was able to save
kids.
it, and then Chris ruined it. So
It's a roller coaster ride,
I
baby.
think the
just like wrestling.
The cocktail saved it.
it's interesting that like that happened for you. So for me, being a little bit younger than you, it was 6th grade, and there was a little like caption in the newspaper. And now, yes, I grew up with TNT, but we didn't get pay-per-views. And in the little caption was the announcement of Owen Hart's death
Oh, yeah.
when he fell from the rafters.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah.
and again, like you go into, like you watch all the shows going into it, and you're kind of like, I can't wait to hear what happens on, like what happened on Monday Night Raw, and then or Nitro, and
Nitro
and so that was it for me, where it was just kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And again, it was just this little blurb, and then when you hear the story about it after, it's just even worse because it's just awful.
And honestly, kudos to them, but the footage never leaked.
Right.
Thank
Thank God.
God. I don't want to see
yeah,
that.
I feel like it was a lot easier to keep
Then,
things
yeah,
under wraps
today
back
it
then.
would have been like people watching on their phone, DVR'd, like
Yeah,
Well,
so
and
many,
it was-
so many people would have had
Yeah.
their phone out.
Well,
while
and
it
the
was happening.
the arena was still dark, so like nothing at that time would have been able to really capture it as well as some of the stuff probably could now. So again, thank goodness for that. But like the more that you learn about that whole situation, so like if you ever watch like Dark Side of the Ring, it's a great show. Yeah, they did that Vice did, and they did a deep dive on that, and it's devastating to just to hear how preventable it really was. So,
yeah. Oh, it's all preventable.
gross.
Am I next?
You are.
You are next. Yeah, you got solo and wild card left.
I think I'm gonna go solo.
Okay.
I'm gonna take someone that I okay. So when I was coming up, living in California, we had WWF on like once a week. It was like on Saturday mornings, and
That's when I was
But
watching
I-
cartoons.
but I looked at the wrestling magazines, and there was this guy that I saw who I never saw anything quite like him in the WWF. And then I had this friend, Marty, in 6th grade, who, I don't know, he had some videos or something, but I finally got to watch this guy on video, and he fucking blew my mind. And I'm going with the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Like,
epic.
woo! The Rolex motherfucking...
That was my number 2 of top pick,
Yeah.
obviously because my namesake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had like the blonde hair, but it was all in the magazines, it was always bloody.
Right.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that was a big difference, I feel like, between WCW, which I think was bigger in the South.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because it was a Georgia-based company.
Yeah. And Ric Flair, I was like, he was just always bloody in these magazines.
Yeah.
And then when I finally got to see him, then you see his fucking shtick and like his like confidence, and like it was amazing. Like I fell in love with that dude.
Yeah, he's still one of the best, and actually is like active still. Like,
Yeah.
participating in
Yeah.
AEW shit, and
Which is crazy.
And then his daughter is one of the most popular wrestlers in the world,
Who's his daughter?
Charlotte Flair.
I didn't know that.
I've heard
Queen.
the name.
The
I
Queen.
don't think I could put a face
She's
to it,
pretty. She gets a little kind of shoved down your throat as a fan, but like when she has like real banger matches, it's just kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah.
but she's part
And
of,
she does,
She's part of AEW right now, or
She's still in WWE. She's still in WWE, but she also does like, so he had, the figure 4, which was his was his finishing move. She does it, but then she like arches her back, and it's like a building off of that,
Okay.
which is really fucking cool. So it's she's awesome.
There was something wrestling and Star Wars related I wanted to ask you about.
Okay.
Because Drew is a big wrestling fan and a big Star Wars fan. We talk a lot about Star Wars.
We do.
How did you feel when you were watching The Mandalorian, and then all of a sudden is Sasha Banks as one of the Mandalorians?
As one of the Mandalorians.
That had to be a pretty cool moment for you.
It was cool. And I think and at the time, in terms of like the wrestling world, like Sasha Banks was like really in a lot of conflict with the WWE, like real conflict, not like the kayfabe
contract
stuff.
dispute stuff.
Yeah, contract dispute stuff. And so, in a weird cousin thing, she's Snoop Dogg's cousin.
Yeah.
So,
shit.
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So one of her WrestleMania entrances, like Snoop Dogg did her entrance music for her, which was really cool.
That's cool.
And she really is an incredible wrestler and was really misused for a lot of years. So she's actually now wrestling in Japan, which is kind of cool. But I loved it. I mean, I love seeing that crossover, and especially like they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's just like, whoa.
It was just kind of, Bo-Katan like took her stuff off, and then it was like, and then they took theirs off, and I was like,
Yeah.
God damn, Sasha Banks with her blue hair, looking all
Yeah.
hot and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's definitely like one of those. She would always come out with different outfits and hairstyles
Yeah.
for like the big pay-per-views, and you just kind of like, ooh,
She's
all
hot.
right,
Yes.
nice, good for you, that's awesome. So I loved it. I thought it was a great crossover.
hell yeah.
And now it's your next pick.
It's Drew's next pick. He's got 2 left.
So I have
You got
I have
non-wrestler and
then
wild card. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go non-wrestler. I'm gonna go manager, and I don't think that you can tell the history of wrestling without mentioning this guy, and it's Paul Heyman. So Paul Heyman, started ECW Wrestling, which was this wrestling company based out of Philadelphia that just had like the most insane
Extreme championship wrestling.
absolutely crazy.
Barbed wire
He's gone
matches.
on to be like a manager, but more important, like the back of like behind the scenes, like what he's done for people's careers and like how he's built people up and how he's done that is like really amazing. And it's always fun. Like, so when he was doing his Brock Lesnar run, they have ring announcers, right? And every time the ring announcer, this is more current. There's plenty of examples of why Paul Heyman's amazing. But it's like the ring announcer would start to announce Brock Lesnar, and he would take the mic from them and then do his own intro for Brock Lesnar every single time. So Paul Heyman is definitely up there. I mean, again, like you don't have some of like the greatest wrestling stories ever, and then now he currently manages Roman Reigns, and it's just absolutely hilarious because he sits on the side of the ring and just antagonizes them the entire time, which is what a good manager should do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then
And when the WWF bought ECW, they got him along with the deal.
they
right?
did, yeah. And so basically, it came down like ECW they were done. So it was basically like this life raft that got sent out to them. And then what you do is you end up getting the creativity that Paul Heyman brought to the table, and has since continued to develop people, and it's funny because he has all these different incarnations of different guys, like CM Punk, which is one of the biggest wrestlers in the world.
CM Punk is fucking rad.
And he just came back
hilarious,
this past
too.
weekend.
He's so fucking funny.
He's back in WWE.
I saw. So, was that a work or a shoot?
Which one?
What happened with him? Like he came back, and then there was like it looked like there was people in the ring that were actually pissed. Like I feel like I read about it on media that wasn't a wrestling media thing.
So I was not watching wrestling during the CM Punk
Yeah.
renaissance and stuff, and like what they call like the pipe bomb, where he kind of ruined kayfabe for everybody.
Yeah.
And but I do watch current wrestling, and I do watch AEW, which is like the competition for WWE. And CM Punk did go there first, and it seems like all he did was get into altercations with people behind the scenes, like real altercations.
That's what I thought. It was like seemed like real shit.
And that's the tough part about being into this is like you never know what's a work, which is fake, and then what's a shoot, which is real. And it just like for me at this point, again, not having the run of him like in the mid 2000s to like 2010, 2012, like I just think he just seems like a fucking asshole like all the time. And I don't like his wrestling set either.
He
like
tried to go to UFC and it didn't work out.
Yeah, and he got his ass beat.
Yeah.
Like
and then his back got injured.
Like real bad. He got beat up pretty good. But he's great on the mic. I do appreciate that about him. But it just seems like he's a little bit more trouble than it goes for. But so now he's working like legitimately. Well, whenever this airs, but this past weekend, but he came back to WWE, and he's on record of talking all the shit about Triple H and how he's called him every word. And then so people asked Triple H, they're like, he's like, hey, people change, and we've hashed it out, and this is good for business, and ultimately that's what this is, and we'll see how long the honeymoon lasts. Yeah. But he did one stint a couple of years ago where he was kind of doing some commentating, and then eventually got angry and left again. So.
Yeah, he seems like an angry dude.
He definitely seems
I've heard
very
him on
angry.
some podcasts, and he's very funny, just like as a person.
Yeah.
I think you have to be if you're gonna like go out in your tights and wrestle other men, right? Like you have to have a little. You have to have a little kind of like
CM stands for. Cum master.
I don't know. Again,
Cum master, is that what you said?
Again, I missed that time, but Heyman used to be his he calls himself an advocate. So. If you just like look at like some of the things that Heyman says are so fucking funny.
I remember the first time I broke one of those.
Yeah. Right?
Jesus Christ.
It was not Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, stop.
It was Mary's. She was no virgin.
I'm going to take my last two picks because it's my turn and I'm on the
That
tail
would be
end.
a good reason to do it.
Yep. I'm going to take my non-wrestler next. I'm taking the Godfather's Hoe Train. Because who the fuck wouldn't want just a stable of scantily clad women on their fucking Rushmore, right?
Dude.
I can't believe that's a thing, but yeah.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
The Godfather's Hoe Train.
So I saw the Hoe Train in person.
I did too.
When he came to set.
Yeah.
When he wrestled Viscera.
I was in the Bay Area.
And Viscera said, let me tell you one thing about Sacramento hoes. They're stanky danky. And we're like, boo! And he brought up, I just assumed that wherever city they were in, they went to like a strip club.
Probably.
And we're like, we need all these girls for the Hoe Train.
Right.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's what's going on. And then I feel like we should probably speed it along, right?
Sure.
We're running along.
What else is there to say about a Hoe Train?
It's a bunch of women.
Yeah.
I'm taking my solo. I'm a huge fan of the Fast and the Furious franchise. I have to take The Rock. Sorry, Drew.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, I sort of got him.
He'll
first,
never be
but go
president.
ahead.
I'd vote for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he lied about his tequila.
Yep.
He's not gonna lie. He's not gonna tell
you
the
don't
truth
like
about
him because
anything
of
else.
tequila reasons.
Yes.
Oh, that makes so much sense. What is it? Terramana?
Terramana. Or Terralaya.
Oh,
as I like to say.
Oh, you hear that, Rock?
It's on site.
Yeah. What's up? We're not family here.
Oh, you're still my family.
No one can smell what the Rock's cooking because he's not cooking shit.
Lies.
No, that's fine. I mean,
Big Little
growing
Lies.
up, like I loved watching him in the ring, and I mean, you took him with Rock and Sock Connection, so he's on your fucking
I'm a
Rushmore
stan.
too.
I'm a stan.
I loved him as a wrestler. I loved him as an actor. Not everything he's been in has been great.
I mean,
but
Tooth Fairy, whatever.
Tooth Fairy fucking kick rocks.
I'd take Tooth Fairy over Red Notice any day.
But
So
I didn't see it.
Fast and the Furious
Yeah.
is one of
You
my
may-
all-time
you missed
favorite
something.
franchises. So I got.
What other man can flex off a fucking cat?
I fucking love it. And then or go to prison or go to prison and then take a concrete bench off of the concrete floor and just start bench or curling it. Like,
there's no doubt he's
fucking
a
dope.
monster, and his wrestling run is legitimately like one of the best ever. He's one of the best on the mic.
Sort of.
ever.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also sort of fuck him because no, but he kind of came
Join
back.
us.
There
Join
was
us.
a,
Come
Yes.
to the dark
Get
side.
no, just because there was a time where it was like at a WrestleMania, he was acting, doing all this. He came back for this WrestleMania match, and he won.
Yeah.
and that pissed me off.
Yeah.
because he was supposed to fucking pass the torch.
He was a part timer.
Yeah. At that point, you need to lose.
Right.
You have to lose, and he didn't lose. And I was so pissed at him for that.
Well, he's on your Rushmore too. So
He is, but that really did piss me off because he had to fucking win. He keeps coming back, but like it's like bullshit. I mean, I love The Rock though. I'd give him a hand job.
You're one of us.
Yeah.
that's my president. All right, Drew. It's time for your last pick, which is your wild card.
I am so conflicted over
There's
this
so
because
many.
because earlier I was thinking wrestler as a wild card, and I kind of had a guy picked out. I was like, okay, that'll be perfect. And then when you're like, oh, moments go into it, and I'm kind of like, oh no, there's so many great moments,
So many.
over the years, and it's kind of like, well, like where do I want to steer people? Like where do I want people to go to like really, enjoy it? And I think all the different options that you potentially have. What you need to watch is Walter versus Tyler Bate, NXT UK from like 2020 or 2019. It is one of the most brutal matches you'll ever watch. You just kind of be like, there's no way this is not real, because like they just legitimately beat the shit out of each other.
Okay.
You said NXT. What is it?
So NXT is basically like the minor leagues of
Okay.
WWE, and at one point they had a UK version of
Okay.
it. And this guy,
okay.
Walter, is this big menacing dude that does chops, which is like the Ric
Yeah,
Flair
yeah.
slaps across the chest
Right,
that are
right.
absolutely brutal. And then Tyler Bate has the biggest
Master.
legs in the world.
Master Bate.
Like, and it's just Master Bate. And it is absolutely like it is just a total banger of a match, and it's just. And I just like, to your point of kind of like, what match do you show people to kind of be like, this is really difficult. And there's no teeth through mouths or anything like that, but it is a brutal fight. So it's Tyler Bate versus Walter. Walter, his name is now Gunther. So
Gunther.
he's gone through a little repackaging.
Sounds like
he's
it.
still very, very good wrestler. Tyler Bate is still a very good wrestler. But, and it's funny, at the time, I was a huge Tyler Bate fan, and he was selling merch, and I was like, and he has his tagline is big strong boy, because again, like he has like the biggest fucking legs in the world, like he squats like the world. And I hit him up and I was like, hey man, I want to get one of those big strong boy, because he wasn't a big deal yet, and a lot of these independent wrestlers run their own social medias and
Right,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
probably printing their own
and
shirts
yeah,
shit.
and so I was like, hey man, do you have XL? He's like, I don't have XL, but I have a large. I was like, you know what, I'll take it. Let's get it. And I get it, and it definitely smells like cologne. I was like, this was definitely your shirt. I was like, you definitely like took this off your back, and I was like, this guy wants my shirt, and I need $40. So
Hell yeah.
That's cool as hell. Holy
yeah, so and
He's like, oh shit, what is this one?
yeah.
Hold on, I
Yeah,
got one
that's-
in the back, buddy.
That's quite literally what
He's
happened.
in the mirror checking the tag. I got a
Yeah.
large.
And he's great. He's a really fun, he's a great wrestler. Like he went on, like he did a tag team where they were called Mustache Mountain for a while too, and that was also
Oh,
super
that's
fun.
fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say Tyler Bate versus Walter for the NXT UK Championship. It is, and you can watch it on Peacock. So
Yeah.
there you go. Reason to have Peacock, and if you don't have Peacock, hit me up. I'll send you my login.
No,
I'll be hitting you
Don't
up.
do that. Don't do that.
I'll do it.
My number's right here.
No, it's not. It really isn't. Sorry, guys.
That's not how the world works.
Honestly, I think I can do that pretty easy.
Do you know
It's really not that hard.
a girl peacock is a peahen?
Yeah.
You know we have wild peacocks in Sacramento.
Yes.
Yeah,
What is
they have
the
some
joke?
by my
What's-
house.
What's the joke?
You ever been to Flamingo?
No. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Nothing. There's no joke there.
Oh, it really seemed like you were setting up a joke.
No. I'm not gonna say like I pee out of my cock. Like,
Well, it is time for you to set up your wild card pick.
which is again, this is the hardest one because there's so many moments. The moment I want to go with never even aired on TV. It wasn't even meant for TV. It happened after the cameras stopped rolling. I believe it might have been a SmackDown the Thursday before WrestleMania. And I only saw it because on the Stone Cold Steve Austin DVD, they played it. And it was The Rock and Stone Cold just having a fucking mic sesh against each other for the crowd.
Yeah.
About WrestleMania. And they were drinking and talking shit. And one of my favorite things, Scorpion King was out at the time. Not a good movie.
Horrible movie.
Someone had a sign that says
Lies.
Scorpion King
PS2
sucks.
graphics movie.
Yeah. Scorpion King sucks. And The Rock, in the middle of saying something, looks at it and said, Scorpion King sucks. He said, The Rock gets more pie in one night than you get in a lifetime, sucker. And I'm just like,
Okay, so you're back around with The Rock.
Yeah.
All right.
This was just for the audience. Like, they knew that the cameras really stopped. I mean, they were still going, but the show had ended.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it was like the best 20 minutes that we never got to see, that I would never saw if it wasn't on the Stone Cold DVD. It wasn't on the Stone Cold VHS. It wasn't on the Rock's VHS. It was on the Stone Cold DVD.
Are there like extra?
Yeah, just like they had a bunch of shit on there.
Fuck yeah.
Man, that was hard because there was one I was at that I was going to pick. But anyway, go ahead.
I think
Justin.
What about me?
Aren't you? No, Chris is next.
I'm next.
This is the last pick, and we're looking for your tag team.
No more porn stars, buddy.
Ron Jeremy and Pamela Anderson.
Shit, man. He took out porn stars. I got nothing. No.
We could just do an
This is going back. The cats that got me into wrestling, and that's it. Just because they were wild and stupid and outrageous and made it fun to watch was the Bushwhackers.
Oh, the
Bushwhackers. I do know those names.
Oh yeah, dude, they were just some fucking backwoods redneck
yeah,
motherfuckers,
out
man.
of fucking what, New Zealand or some shit or.
That was before my time. So
Oh, I feel like they were from like
Well,
Louisiana, but I could be wrong. Just because they
Louisiana.
that's the problem, right? It's like you look back on all these
Yeah.
guys, and you're just kind of like Yokozuna was not from Japan,
Right.
It's definitely
Right,
Polynesian. So you're just kind of like, I don't fucking know.
Rikishi,
Yeah, but-
Sacramento.
but-
Rikishi
I think
was
you're
on my
right.
list.
I think the Bushwhackers.
His whole,
I
his
love
whole
it.
family lives here.
Yeah,
The whole Samoan family lives here, and actually like the
Samoa.
my former employer, one of our drivers, his uncle was Rikishi, and then when he found out I was a wrestling fan, hit up Rikishi. Like they reconnected over the fact that I was a
shit.
fan of them. Like he used it as like motivation
Yeah.
to reach out to his uncle. And then his uncle sent me, like Rikishi sent me a Samoan Dynasty T-shirt
that's dope.
that I
Size
constantly put into my buddy's face, who's also a huge wrestling fan. And he's like,
Stink
"You
face.
can't get this. No."
Put it in his face like Rikishi's ass.
Yeah,
Also, The
I
Rock's
almost-
cousin.
I almost picked,
that's true. Yep.
I almost picked Rikishi as my solo just because of the stink face. I fucking love it. It's so fucking
It
funny.
was Well, Too Cool was a great tag team.
That was
shit,
yeah.
Scotty
fuck
Too
yeah.
Hotty and Grandmaster
Yeah,
Sexy.
dude.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. Which is Jerry Lawler's son.
Yep.
Which is so sad.
I almost picked the greatest heel ever in wrestling,
Roddy Piper.
Andy Kaufman,
Oh, that's a good
Oh
one,
my
too.
god,
Because-
that would have been such a good
because
fucking pick.
people thought it was real.
Right, dude.
That was it was real as fuck.
That would have been a
They did not
great
know
pick.
they're
Holy
friends.
shit.
Like, you know what I
I
mean?
wish I
Like-
would have thought of that.
Like Lawler
Fuck.
and Kaufman was the greatest rivalry ever in wrestling.
Well, none of us
Yeah.
picked that, but to recap, Chris, you went first. You picked your solo first with Macho Man, Randy Savage. Second, you went non-wrestler. You went Ron Jeremy. Third, you went wild card. You took the first Undertaker passing away. And then fourth, you took the Bushwhackers as your tag team. Jason, you went second. You took the Rock and Sock Connection as your tag team first. You took Mean Green as your non-wrestler second.
Mean Gene.
Mean Gene.
Oh, shit. I'm misreading my own.
Because you were thinking he was the Jolly Green Giant.
It's my, that's what it is. I fucked myself over. You took your solo third, and that's the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Masturbated yourself.
Well, you took wild card last, and that was the Rock and Stone Cold untelevised banter.
Yeah.
Okay. Drew, you went third. You took your solo first with Rey Mysterio Jr. You took your tag team second with the Hardy Boys. You took your non-wrestler third with Paul Heyman. And you took your wild card fourth, and that was Walter versus Tyler Bate NXT UK Championship match.
You spelled Heyman wrong, but it's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to look at my
I
notes.
want to watch that.
You don't have to look at my
It's-
notes. They're
I
from
want to
me.
watch that. Can you send that to me?
I will send it
I
to
also,
you.
That's
I also
exciting.
want to
I
watch it.
wanna
It
see
sounds
it.
great.
And he did another one versus like Igor Dragovich like 3 years later, which is
Igor.
which is like equally as brutal. And it's funny because do you know Sergio at Tracer Manas and Davis?
Yes.
Out of nowhere, because we're both wrestling fans, out of nowhere he texts me one day and he goes, "Have you watched this match?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." He's just like, "It's fucking incredible." And I was like,
Yeah,
Walter,
I got to
baby.
check it out. That sounds great.
yeah.
I went last. I took my tag team first with the Dudley Boys. Wild card was second with the Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell. Third, I took the Godfather's Hope Train, and then fourth, the Rock, because fucking family, baby. There's so many things that we left out. I mean,
My wild card, I almost went with the Rock concert in Sacramento because I saw that live.
if I didn't get the Dudley Boys as my tag team, I was gonna take them power bombing Mae Young because that was
Mae Young,
so
dude.
fucking. And that's what I wanted to ask you about is because so they power bombed her from like the entrance, like where wrestlers walk in,
Yeah.
like off the stage into a table. He power bombs her, and this is an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah.
and he fucking power bombs her into a table. And when they're on the ground, he's sitting up, and she's like, her legs are over him, and she like reaches up and she's like squeezing his hand.
Yeah.
like you see that on camera, and I'm like, does that mean she's actually hurt, or is that her telling him that she's okay? Okay,
Yeah.
They tried to go easy on her, and she was basically like, "What's wrong with you, pussies?
Yeah.
I'm a wrestler. Go hard."
Yeah.
right.
And then on the Sacramento show that Rock did that improv song,
Yeah.
that is the song that Lin-Manuel Miranda used as inspiration for You're Welcome on Moana, because he didn't know what the Rock's vocal range was.
So he went with that.
So he watched that, and that's
amazing.
that's how he wrote the song.
Yeah.
And if you listen to that song now and you listen to the Rock performance in Arco, it's like, holy shit,
I bet there's
that's very
a,
real.
Yeah.
that's fun. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Also, R.I.P. Rock Arco.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Not a bad seat in the house.
No,
True,
no. Unless you're there for a concert.
Well,
It
that's
sounded like shit. I saw Kane there, and when and the fire went,
Yeah.
dude, you felt it in the whole arena. That shit was fucking hot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Now he's
Stephanie
just, now
McMahon
he's just down.
was.
Now he's just burning down personal rights in Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, way to go, Glenn Jacobs, asshole.
I almost picked Big Boss Man apologizing to Al Snow by cooking him a dinner, which just happened to be Al Snow's dog.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And he fed him his
That
own
is fucked
dog. Also, what I was kind of alluding to earlier with Triple H drugging Stephanie McMahon
And
in
getting married in
Vegas,
Vegas?
and
Yeah.
in a convertible Mustang, getting married to her, but he
Yeah.
was cheating on China with her at the time.
Yeah.
and then he ended up actually marrying her in real life, and then taking over the WWE.
yeah,
I,
there's still,
I definitely had China and Playboy.
Yeah,
as
and then
a
China
pick.
also.
or her porno that she did with
One
X-Pac.
night in China.
I don't know about that. What?
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
one
the
night in China.
I have heard about that. Okay.
Which
I haven't
funny.
seen that.
Well, my wild card originally was going to be Chris Jericho, because like you talk about
Walls
a
of
guy
Jericho.
who's done 40 years of wrestling and reinvented
Right.
himself multiple times. And that's also like, if you really enjoy wrestling, like when he did his New Japan run, like holy shit, like super super fun. And again, it's like, if you want to like really get into like deep cuts wrestling, New Japan wrestling is so much fun because they report on it like it's real, and they take it very seriously, and the wrestlers over there are phenomenal.
Jericho during the Attitude Era just calling Stephanie McMahon, the boss's daughter, like a hoe all
Yeah.
the time, and talking about her fucking boob job, and it's just like, yeah.
Well, one of the greatest, I think another good wild card would have been Jericho's entrance to WWE, because remember they did the countdown for years and nobody knew what the countdown was for.
Right.
And then so he came out for the first time during a promo with The Rock, and they didn't discuss at all what was going to happen. They had a couple like talking points, and it's, if you watch that clip on YouTube, it's literally like some of the best television you'll ever see, and it's those guys just improving.
You could
the
have
whole time.
wild carded Fozzy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's his entrance music now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost for the wild card just took the Stone Cold glass breaking
That would have been a great wild
because
card.
it's just
Fuck
like people are talking and then
No, if you
Yeah.
hear
The
that, you
lights
know
go to- yeah.
exactly what's about to happen.
Yeah. There was a story I recently listened to with Kevin Owens, who's a current wrestler, that he was talking about how he was trying to simulate it while playing with some of his like figurines. He goes, so I took a coffee mug and I threw it against the wall, but it's made out of ceramic, so I just put a hole in the wall. And then he goes, then my dad gets home and he's pissed, and I'm like 17, so
That's hilarious.
yeah. So there's, everybody had those moments, even current guys who are like huge, who are huge WWE superstars now.
Hell yeah.
Are great. And there's actually like 2 years ago, Stone Cold came back and did this thing with Pat McAfee, and where he, it was amazing. So I just go watch wrestling.
Stunning
the
Steve
moral
Austin.
story is like watch wrestling again. It's amazing.
Stunning Steve Austin.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, another good one.
I need to get into it.
Didn't get into wrestling?
Get back. No, I need to get back.
Oh, you say you
I need to get
into
back.
it.
And
Okay.
you know what? I would love to get my daughter into wrestling.
For
It's
sure,
like
yeah.
feels very much right up her alley.
They're fun events to go to,
She's
too.
like she's very acrobatic.
Yeah.
And
I feel like my son's too bougie to watch it.
You never know.
I don't
Try
know.
it
He's
on.
at a good age for it.
No, he's bougie. He just wants to play D&D and on Discord with his friends.
He's out there playing croquet.
I mean, look, it's gonna
having,
make you
having
rich
finger
one day.
sandwiches.
Nah, dude, he better.
2 times.
D&D on Discord sounds like money to me.
Yeah, he's having fun.
It's a lot of fun.
He's living the life.
We're long, right?
We're 136.
Yeah, I mean
we're-
we've shot the moon, so let's keep going.
You brought multiple podcast people in here.
I've
what
got
we
a
do.
quiz. Do you guys
Yeah.
want to take a quiz?
It's we all like talking.
I gotta
we
take a
hate
whiz.
listening to our voice.
Should we wrap up?
Let's
Let's
wrap.
wrap.
Let's wrap
right.
up.
Wait, can I have one question out of the quiz? You put it out there. I
Yeah.
would like one question.
You get one question.
Okay. All right. One question.
The Rock.
Do
Pass.
The
Paula Bach.
The quiz was called the Cocktails and Brawlers quiz. It was all about wrestlers and cocktails.
What I want to do.
Cocktails and Dreams.
This British bartender has been credited with the invention of the Bramble and the espresso martini.
Well, that doesn't count. We talked about this on.
You're doing behind the scenes right now. You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do we talk about this on?
The text message thread.
Yeah, the text thread. We all talk off air. It's like it's a thing.
That was a text thread between the three
That
of
was
us.
kayfabe, you
Jason wasn't in
dipshit.
it.
He wasn't there.
I'm not.
Oh, you didn't know?
I don't know what you're talking
I'm
about.
rigging these quizzes so you lose every week.
My problem is I'm too busy running 2 businesses. I didn't know. I thought he was
Oh
on
my
it.
god.
Anyway,
In a related note, go drink Brambles. They're fucking great.
Brambles are great.
Brambles are
So
delicious.
Espresso martinis are fine. I've been on like a regular gin martini kick lately. I've been drinking so many fucking gin
Dude,
martinis.
come have
I
mine.
love them. I absolutely
Come
love
have mine. It sits in a freezer.
Do you do a Churchill martini?
I don't know what the fuck that
It's
means.
basically just chilled gin, and then
No.
you look like it. You look at an open bottle of
no,
vermouth
that's-
from across the
that's
room.
fucking-
Well,
awful.
and then I think also what you have to do is you have to like invade other countries and take take all their shit, right? That's
The
what it's-
Brambles.
Take their spices in their gin.
yeah.
The
yeah,
Brambles are an area of Central Park where gay men used to hook up in the 60s and 70s. I swear to God, ask George Takei. Oh my.
I thought those were rest stops. Oh my!
Okay, well, hey, go listen to the Good Bottle podcast. Keep listening
Yes,
to this
plug
one.
your guys'
and,
stuff.
and watch.
Yeah, Good Bottle.
Go,
You'll get the answer to that on the Good Bottle.
and watch
Hey, look, we've got
watch
notes.
wrestling. Follow us. What is it? The Good Bottle podcast. You
Yes.
can follow us, our personal accounts. D Garrison 6, Chris Sinclair,
Come to Bodega.
Bodega
Yes.
Kitchen and Cocktails in Sacramento.
Is it open?
And Good
I
Bottle.
mean, is Good Bottle
That's
open
open.
yet?
Good Bottle. I'm hoping by the time this is released, we are open.
Okay.
Also,
Look for the pink building. Terrible
Is that-
color
yeah.
for a bottle shop, but
What?
come
No.
see
why?
it.
No,
Good
I think that's
things-
a great color.
That's what an old
Pink
guy
is
told
the
him.
best things in the world.
Real
are pink.
men drink pink,
Yeah, I do.
and they're rewarded for it.
Pink Whitney is delicious.
Yeah,
Sorry,
PSA,
guys.
don't send your drink back because it comes in a girly class. You're
Yeah,
weak.
there's no gender on glassware.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You guys gave me shit about martini glasses, but it's a spilly fucking cup. You guys.
No,
like,
look. If my daughter can drink out of a glass and
this is
she's
what you said.
3,
This is what you said.
Was this on the pod? Was this on the thread I'm not on?
No, this was on the collaboration episode.
this is
that we
like
did
2 years ago.
Oh.
I gave her the same shit, but she was 1 at the time.
Because I don't save anyone's name in my phone, so I
sure
wasn't
don't.
even sure which group text we were in.
And that's clearly my problem as well.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
being
so
on the
much.
show. Thank you for preparing these cocktails. Both of them were absolutely fucking delightful. I've never had a Sazerac. I've always wanted to. Now I can say I have. I've also never had cognac. That was the first time I've had cognac, and it was in a cocktail.
Cognac's the
That was
best.
the
out.
first part of the pod.
I know.
You've been
Drink-
slacking.
Oh, that's bad too. Sorry.
You guys are legitimately one of my favorite things to listen to. Again, I spend a
amen,
lot
you
of time
guys.
in the car. And I love your guys' conversations. Again, I'm the ghost in the room with the answers, and I appreciate how much you entertain my thoughts on it when I text you.
Justin,
I guess sometimes weeks later, and you're like, I have
me
no
your
idea what you're
glass.
talking about.
Well,
So-
what you should do is call 323
Hey, don't take over my job.
786
Don't-
a lot. That's
just because I put those notes
2568.
up doesn't mean that's your job now.
or 867-5309 for a good time.
Yeah. If you ever have, if Justin and I are talking and we don't know shit and you know the answer, call that number.
Absolutely, we'll put it on the podcast.
Wait, does that
We
go?
will.
Does that go through?
Yeah. No, this does.
Is it live? It
No,
won't be-
no,
it won't be
no.
live. Oh.
It's
You can leave. You can
it's our
leave a
voicemail.
You almost gave me
But
way
we will.
too much ammo.
No,
But we will play it.
you can always call and leave us a voicemail. We'll play it and we'll respond to it at 323-786-a-lot. That's 323-786-2568. Or you can shoot us an email. Our email address is a little off the top pod at gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to or watching us on. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at a little off the top pod.
Oh, tiki talkies.
Yeah,
And YouTube.
we're on there.
Oh, yeah.
Also on YouTube.
yeah.
We are on YouTube. If you're looking for Odd Jason Yankovic, you can find him on Instagram and
That's it.
Instagram
That's it
only
right now. No
at
working out.
Skills the Barber. You can find me on
boy.
Instagram and Letterboxd, where I rated this episode with our fantastic guests 5 out of 5.
5.5 out of 5.
5.5 out of 5,
What's
yes.
Letterboxd?
At _red_6_ I think we did it. You guys got anything else?
No, you guys are fucking awesome.
I love it.
Cream of the crop.
Bala buck.
See ya.
No one's gonna say brother.
Bye for now, brother.
Fucking A, man.